Hi everyone, this is Shayla L. Bennett, and it is time for a 5 minute motivation. So, yesterday we talked about what to do with your emotions, and we're going to continue along that same vein. And we're going to continue with the next step in the process. So, yesterday I talked about what how to acknowledge your emotions. And today we're going to talk about the next step. So, yesterday, in talking about acknowledging your emotions, I really got to the core of it. Because a lot of us really are covering up our emotions. We have not really been taught how to deal with our emotions. We know that we have emotions, and we know that we feel things, but we don't know what to do with them. We just feel them. And so some of us have covered them up, some of us ignore them, some of us feel them and we immediately act on them. And those are the ones that immediately come to my mind. And I'm sure that others of you have some other ideas about what you do with your emotions, but it just seems that we don't really know how to move through the process of emotions. And so now that we've gotten to this place of having a whole day of acknowledging this is how I feel, and now that you've done that, this is what you do next. Choose what you want to do with the emotions that you know that you now feel. I am not a person that immediately jumps to a response. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't necessarily trust that whatever I feel right now is a good indicator for what I need to do right now. And let me explain that. I don't feel like your emotions are the baseline for good decision making. Just because I'm angry right now doesn't mean that the my anger is a necessitates the reason for me having an angry action. So, if somebody cuts me off in traffic, for example, I don't need to have a road rage reaction and go follow that person or whatever my emotions indicate that I need to do. I need to now, I've thought about it, I'm angry. This person has made me mad, they've wronged me. But what do I now need to do with my emotion? And that's where I think we now need to move to, I feel this way. Now, what do I do? You need to make a decision about what you are going to do with your action. And you need to base that decision on what consequences follow the decision that you're going to make. I think too many times we're making reactionary decisions based off an emotion, and then we're not thinking all the way through to the consequences of that decision. So let's say, taking the road rage example, you have a road rage moment and this person cuts you off and you're angry about it, and you follow them and you respond in anger. Well, I've never heard anybody say that two wrongs make a right. It doesn't. That's never been the case. It does not legitimize your right to be right because somebody wronged you. They are wrong, and now you are wrong. So we need to find better ways for being able to actually make better decisions. Now, I'm not saying that people are making wrong decisions. I just think we can make better decisions. So, as you're thinking about your emotions, okay, I feel angry, I feel frustrated, I'm disappointed, this I'm sad, whatever the emotion that you're feeling. Now, what do you want to do? What are you choosing to do with the emotion you're feeling? So, for example, I talked a little bit ago about, especially if you attended the ABLE webinar, I talked about a time when I went through some difficulties in life. And during that difficult time, I went through some sadness. I went through some frustrations. I went through some times when I didn't always feel my best. But even in those moments, I didn't say, okay, so this is the decision that I'm going to make based off of that emotion. No, I had to check my emotions and say, okay, this is how I feel. My feelings are legitimate, but my feelings should not be the basis of my decision making. So today, your challenge is for the next 24 hours, you have already identified how you feel. You've processed. This thing has whatever. I feel this way. Now, what decision do you want to make? What choices do you want to do? What do you want the outcome to be based off of the decision, based off of how you feel? It is perfectly okay. You know, this person shorted me, and I want them to do better. I want them to do right by me. I want them to recuperate. I want them to give back to me what they shorted me in some way. How do you want to go about making that happen? What path do you want to take to do that? Because there could be multiple paths to getting that done. Now, if you sit down and you think about the process for getting that done, then you can actually make a real decision about what needs to be done and not just act out of your emotions. Because when you respond out of your emotions, a lot of times that causes you to, and that's probably not what you really want. You really want to be able to think it all the way through and decide on how you really want it to come out, because a lot of times you want to preserve the relationship. You really want to be able to build somebody else up on the other side, and you want to figure out, is this really worth the thing that I'm asking for on the other side anyway? So think about all of those things as you make your next decisions forward. And I'm Shayla L. Bennett. I hope that you really got a lot out of this 5 minute motivation, because I know that I'm being encouraged. I'm being reminded about just how important not only the emotions that I feel are and how valid they are, but also how the process of me processing my emotions are, and how important it is for me to think it all the way through to the end result that I want it to ultimately be. Thank you so much for joining me for 5 minute motivation, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye, guys.